Have you ever wondered why these custom format strings are hard to understand? It's because we don't understand why this hash, comma, zero, or dot are used in the custom format string. So in this video, I'm going to make it very easy for you to understand. So let's start the video. So these are called number format placeholders. If you want to apply any custom formattings other than these default formattings, you will have to go for custom formattings. And how do we add these custom formats to these measures or columns is we can go to this model view and we can select the measure or the column. In the properties pane, we can see this format. From this format, we can go down and we can choose this custom. After we choose this custom, we can write the custom format string here. Or what we can do is there's a shortcut to do that. So we can go to the report view and we can click on the measure of the column, and instead of choosing the formatting from here, the default formatting, we can directly type the formatting here. For example, hash comma 0, and this is going to reflect in the model view as well. So if you see for this number, we have added this hash comma 0. So now let us focus on these two first, hash and 0. So 0 refers to the mandatory digit and hash refers to the optional digit. So hash is going to return a number only when the number is non-zero, and 0 is mandatory, means it is going to return a number or digit even if the number is 0. So let's see this number. So this is 1000 for now. So to apply the custom formatting in the card visual, what we have to do is go to the call out, and from here we can choose the display unit as custom, and then we can write the format code here as well. So let's write it here so that we can understand easily. So we have 1000. If I just write hash, it will return the number as it is. So we have 1000 here. You can see we have 1000, so it's returning 1000. Now, what if we say 0? It is returning the same thing. But if I make this number 0, see, this returns 0. But if I make it hash and click on enter, see, it returns blank value. So that's why 0 is called mandatory digit, because it will return 0 anyhow. It will append 0. So that's why 0 is called mandatory digit and hash is called optional digit. So I hope you understood this thing. Now let's take a number. Let's say 142142. So now we have this number, and this number is basically around 12.14 million. So now if I want to add 1000 comma separator, we can add it using hash comma 0, and you can see it has added comma separator or 1000 separator. So now let's see what this comma means. So this comma, if we apply in the end, it will act as divide by 1000. So if I add it here, see, it will divide the number by 1000. See, it has divided the number by 1000. Earlier it was 12,142,000. So it has divided by 1000 when I added comma. Now if I add a comma again, it will divide and make it 12. So if you want to show the number in the 1000 format, what we can do is we can write hash comma 0 so that it adds comma separator, and then in the end we can add a comma so that it will divide the number by 1000. And then if I add k, it will just append the k. So if you want to show the 1000 format, so we'll have to add a dot. So this dot basically activates the decimal section. So we'll have to add a dot and then we can write k so that this gives the correct value. So this number is showing the value in the 1000 format without any decimal place. And if I add 0 after this dot, it will show the number with 1 decimal place, and if I add 0 again, it will show the number with 2 decimal. Now if we want to show this number in millions, what we can do is let's add a comma here. If we add comma, it will divide by 1000, and if you add a comma again, it will divide by 1000 again, which is this number is showing in millions. And if you want to show this million without any decimal place, then just add dot and write m so that it will show the number in the million format without any decimal place. And if you want to add a decimal place, so after the dot you can add a 0 so that it adds 1 decimal place. And if you want 2 decimal, we can add 0 again, and now it shows the 2 decimal places in the million format. So now the number shows in the million format with 2 decimal place. So I hope you understood this. Next is this semicolon. So this semicolons basically separate the format section. So if the number is positive, we can add a separate formatting, and if the number is negative, we can add another kind of formatting, and we can separate these two formattings with the help of semicolon. So let me show you here. This thing I have already shown you. Now if you see here, if this number is negative and we want to show this negative number in this bracket format like this, so what we can do is we can say hash comma 0 comma this. So this is the formatting for the positive part. And if the number is negative, for that we can add a semicolon as a separator, and after that we can write a formatting for the negative part of the number. So if the number is negative, it will show in this format. So I hope you understood the use of semicolon. And now let me show you the percentages format. So if you have a percentage format, so if I have a number say 0.2962 and I just want to show it without any decimal places, we can just say 0%, which will just show the percentage without any decimal format. If you want single digit, we can say 0.00%. If you want to show the negative number again in this bracket format, this format is for the positive number, and if the number becomes negative, then we can write this format for the negative number, adding the semicolon, and after that we can write 0.0%. So if the number is 0, we will not just say 0, we will add 0.0% for that. So that is the reason we use this 0 part as well. So I hope you understand. First we give for positive number, then we give for negative number, and then we give for 0 part. So I hope I was able to make this custom number formattings easy for you. And if this video was helpful, do not forget to subscribe my channel. Till then, goodbye. See you in the next video. If you need my help and want to connect one-on-one with me, you can book a call on Topmate. And if you want to buy Power BI reports along with dataset and BRD document, you can check out the products I have here. I have provided the links in the description. See you there. These are the books that I highly recommend buying that can take your Power BI skills to the next level. These 3 books can cover almost all the aspects of Power BI, from DAX to Power Query to the overall Power BI dashboarding. You can find the link of these books in the description. Check them out if you want to level up faster.